Good evening, my good friend. First thing I'm going to do is to apologize because I do not know what to do to get this live thing going. I've tried everything and there is a glitch somewhere. I have no idea. So I apologize. I wish I could be live and I'm going to set it up again. Okay. I must be making a mistake somewhere, somehow. But anyway, the first thing I want to do is to tell you that you must, I repeat myself, you must read the newsletter. Okay. The reason is maybe my accent or your mercury is not in an air sign, which means you are not audible, you're visual. In other words, you are going to assimilate the information better by reading instead of listening to me and fighting with my English friends and getting upset in the process. So let's go to that newsletter. Okay. And then that newsletter, again, I cannot and will not read it all completely, but it's going to give you an idea of what's going on. UFO and astrological prediction, Dr. Theory is a real thing. That's part 2. That's what I was supposed to do live. But again, I apologize. We'll do it next time. Okay, so I did everything I'm supposed to do. Okay, so this is the next SOS to the World Deadly window. So you know that if you watch my first video, that my prediction sudden enough came to pass. Okay, I have absolutely no joy knowing that 80 people are dead. A bunch of kids in the process also are gone. And 40 more people are, we don't know where they are. Okay, probably dead. So this number is going to come up. The only problem that I have, and I will share it again later, okay, is that I took the time and I went to the FBI private website, the police private website. I went to, I don't know, I can't even count how many scientific area, groups all over the place. I even personally went to CNN and Fox, telling them, as you know, that July 4th, be ready for deadly, dramatic news. Sudden enough, again, it happened. I did the same thing many years ago when I was on Coast to Coast, telling George during those days, hey, next week be ready for a really, really bad hurricane that is going to force thousands and thousands of people to relocate. A week later, there goes Katrina. I did the same with 9/11. Again, if you do not know about me, you have the right to be skeptical. But if you read the newsletter, if you make notes, then you realize that my UFO predictive legacy is real. Now, how many of you have shared this newsletter? Would it have make any difference? I don't think so. So don't feel bad. All I know is that there is so much money, so much time, so much effort, which is being put into religion. All those kids were in summer camp, okay? And none of these teachers, priests, counselors are cosmic conscious. My newsletter, my quatrain clearly tells you, okay, ugly face of death, clearly tells you the quatrain and the keywords, mass death, famous death, secret to light. It's all there. Again, it is not, yeah, doctor. No. It is all about me trying to make you aware that understanding and using God cosmic design or Jesus cosmic ministry, okay, will save lives. But I am ahead of time. People would rather be caught dead. All these people that I reach on CNN, I spend hours and hours and hours knowing that I have a bad back, okay, trying to reach as many people as possible to warn them. Now, if you did not watch my previous video live, you have got to go to my my YouTube channel and click on live. if you did not watch it, again, you have the right to be skeptical. But if you watched it and if you see it happened, will you trust me for the next one? All right, let's go back to that newsletter because, as always, the future has and will always be my utmost faithful person, put it this way. Now, July 10, 11, and 12, the world would experience a Uranic window. This is a sudden release of explosive energy that will produce devastating natural disaster. We're not at the end of it, and it's not the first, and it's not going to be the last. Shocking news, incredible, unusual videos, explosion. Of course, Japan, Italy, and France will be touched somewhere, somehow. Okay. The appropriate quatrain and the keywords will be posted in my next newsletter, and the result of my vision will be discussed in this live stream, okay? Which is, I'm going to click on it and see if I can get live. Maybe I can get live doing it this way. I'm going to try because I tried all day, but nothing happened. So, nope. He says only 23 hours and 49 minutes until you can stream. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm having a little bit of a problem with the streaming, okay? So let's not worry about this for now, okay? I want you to make notes, write it down, and tell all your friends to be ready for shocking news, explosion, cosmic news, God knows what, technology, AI. This is going to be a very, very interesting time, which is going to produce explosion. So again, if you do not read the quatrain, okay, you might have a problem. Then again, to those of you who doubt, and there are many, okay, click here on my previous video where you will hear me warning you last week about what would happen on July the 4th. Okay. And the title itself tells you right there, July 4th. Okay. Watch and listen to my prediction for July 4th. Okay. And then the title that is represented in the newsletter, be ready for a very tumultuous, revolutionary, deadly 4th of July. Yes. And the keyword, dramatic days, news, wake-up call, secrets of light, and some. All right. Now, since 1995, I have tried to reach the educated idiots. USGS, NASA, the National Weather Service, everybody is trying to point their fingers who is wrong, why those kids are dead, why all these people are dead. Well, yeah, guess what? None of these people are cosmic conscious. None of these people know and understand God, cosmic design, or Jesus, cosmic ministry. All of these people sees life through their 5 limited human rational senses. When I can see past that, I'm well ahead of time. And I prove it to you non-stop. Again, to those who know me, or the newcomer, no, to those who do not know me, unless you read my newsletter and pay attention to the quatrain and the keyword I use, you might have a problem to connect with me. I put the quatrain right here. Okay. Hidden secret, sex, money come to light. And it's all collected below, of course. A raw power challenge police deadly villain, knowing that we had a crew of 1,500 people, okay, that were forced the closure of the New York State Park during this timing. Ugly face of death drama horror surface. 80 people there. 28 kids died after a Christian camp flood, and 10 camper and 1 counselor are still missing. Nature, man, religion, bloody folly reign. That is what I warn you about. The reptilians will be very active. But as soon as you mention the word reptilians, astrology, or UFO, to all those educated idiots out there, okay, oh my God, Dr. Jerry, this is a tinfoil head. This guy is nuts. You know, when I signed all these warning, God knows if that stupid girl at the desk, that's just the first one which is going to get there. If she's a religious fanatic, she's oh, crazy lunatic. I'm gone. I'm in the trash. deleted, spam. And the result, 1 week later, and that stupid girl will never know that I actually saw the future and tried to warn the world. What can I do? I can only do so much, my good friend. All right, now secret comes to light. Okay, click in here, listen to this if you're into that. A 20-year-old intentionally set a brush fire, opening fire, responding and killing fire to firefighter. We know that 20-year-old. I have his chart under there. 18 people were shot in a matter of a second in a deadly mass shooting. 44 dead as chemical reactor explode in a drug factory. Okay, I mean, it's so damn obvious. Let's talk about famous death. I mentioned famous death in the quatrain. Julian McMahon died at 56. Michael Madsen, Kill Bill, and Reservoir Dog, dead at 67. Okay, another one, a burst tire led to the tragic death of soccer star Diogo Jota, 28 years old. And this lunatic televangelist, Jamie Swaggart, who was literally messed up with prostitution, scandal, and God knows what, and sex, died at 90 years old. Okay, and incidentally, this guy is a Pisces, swimming downstream, like Joel Osteen, also a Pisces, swimming downstream. I am a Pisces, but I'm swimming upstream. See the difference between the good and the bad? Pisces, wake up call, okay? News about sex, oh my gosh. I could go on and on and on and on. That's why I want you to investigate. So this is what I wanted to do live, okay? This is Wess Roley, that kid, okay, that killed those two firemen, okay. Well, you could see on the house of death, he's got Pluto. Pluto rules the house of death, okay? So there is a natural death wish. When the planet of death resides on his own 8th house of death, okay, this kid wanted to die. Then he had the moon in Aquarius, which makes him eccentric, makes him special. And as a Taurus, he faces the world as a Scorpio, the sign of death, ruled and controlled by Pluto. And you can see how unlucky he is with the law. That's why he was killed by the cops, okay? And the head of the dragon is in the subconscious with Mercury. No way for that kid to regenerate, not knowing what's going on out there. All right, so you have to read all that. Now, Stephanie Anna Kerdalen, the pastor and the Bible teacher, mentored Wess Roley. She tried to help him. And she said he had the devil in him. Of course, Wess was mentally infected and under the reptilius effect. Now, try to tell that to Stephanie Anna or to anybody out there. They're going to think I'm crazy, when actually I know it's real because I dealt with those guys, seen those guys. It's a long story that I can't even cover. You can read a little bit more about what I said. Now, look at this guy, Dr. Phil. Year-old cable network filed for bankruptcy, accusing broadcast partner of reneging on obligation. Well, Dr. Educated Idiot, Mr. Phil, okay, you happen to be a Virgo. The tail of the dragon is in Virgo, and you own the dragon's head and tail is Pisces Virgo. Okay, so basically, you are completely and entirely under the stars' jurisdictions, and you're forced to entirely and completely restructure your life. Why don't you invite me on your show so we can talk a little bit more about the depth of your subconscious, and maybe like hundreds of psychiatrists and psychologists, maybe you should take my course, or better yet, you should respect the words of the father of medicine that said a physician without a knowledge of astrology has no right to call himself a physician. Okay, of course, all that doesn't make no sense. Also, had he read my Nostradamus forecast for all sign and click on Virgo, he would have known the full restructure was ahead of him. Because this is what I wrote. Those born with the sun, the moon, rising, natal, or hidden dragon in Virgo or Pisces will be touched directly. And that also applied to Didi Camp, since she was born with a Pisces Virgo dragon axis and the moon in Virgo. There are no accidents. Look at this guy. Diddy, look at that. He's got a stellium in Scorpio, the sign of sex, the sign of power, the sign of control. Lunatic. 1, 2, 3. He thinks and he talks like a Capricorn with Mars. So he plans everything and he can be verbally aggressive, that's for sure. The tail of the dragon is on his wishes and friends. So all these friends, all the people that he used to work with, they all screen him over. Okay. And with Pluto on the tail and the moon in Virgo, he's a voyeur. He likes to watch. As simple as that. And that is downfall. When you have the tail of the dragon on your wishes and friends, all the people you mess up with once upon a time, they're going to come back and they're going to screw you. Excuse my French. All right. Okay. So now, what about this guy? Oh my God. You want to click on that, okay? Because I predict the first time I saw this guy on television, the day when they found out, I said, this guy must be born in November. And you can hear me on the video saying that. And some. Okay, look at him. Another stellium in Scorpio like Diddy. But this one is nasty. This one is really nasty. You can see that in his mind, he's got Uranus and Neptune. So when he did all that stuff, he probably was high or antidepressant, very suicidal. Nobody was there to teach him about the power of Scorpio with a stellium in Scorpio. And do you think Dr. Phil knows anything about that? No way. All right, Uranus is in the third house in Capricorn, so he's eccentric. He's kind of a weirdo. You can see Saturn is in Pisces in the fifth house, so Saturn is the planner, and Pisces is drugs and alcohol. Okay, and the moon is in Cancer. Okay, and you can see the house of death. The reason why I said that he would definitely wanted to get her is because she's a Gemini right on his 8th house of death. And that's why I said that. And you can read it for yourself. So, my good friend, I just don't want to read all that for you. I just want you to take the time to read that newsletter. Again, I repeat myself, I don't have no joy telling you that my predictions came to pass. Okay, and it's not every day you're going to have a mass death. Okay, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried to reach all the people that could help me. None of them budges. And many of you listening to me, they won't even give me a thumb up. And you won't share my work. And that's how it is. It is what it is. It is karma. Karma for you, not for me, because I know better. So I'm telling you, if you realize that I have something, do something about it and help me. Help me, because this world is led by a bunch of morons, educated idiots, people that don't care about others, people that are greedy, egocentric, and then you have good people like you and me. Obviously, if you're listening to me, you vibrate at my cosmic speed, and that means, of course, you're there for a reason. You're not here by accident. So do your part. Please do your part. As always, thumb up, sign up to that channel, and you have the date for the next time I'm going to be on YouTube live. Hopefully, I'll talk to my webmaster, ask him what happened. Okay, we're going to go from there. And I will take your questions about dream interpretation, about God knows what, mini readings. We'll discuss this next week. Until then, my good friend, remember, we are moving into a shocking, surprising, explosive window. Lastly, since you've been waiting for that long, let's do the Universal Astro Tarot cards. We're going to pick a card. Let's pick this one. And that's going to give us the energy between now and next week. I have hopes. See the angel? The angel represents someone. I'm one of those. Putting some wind under your wings to help you to raise to a higher level. This is the sign of Aquarius, and I have a stellium in Aquarius. Okay, raise into the stars. Understand this magical, humongous, beautiful gearbox, because that's where God will speak to you, and God don't speak to fools. Got that? All right, we shall see you next week. Live, I hope. God bless all of you. Peace.